All right, guys. Good morning. Paul Bates, Captain Paul here aboard Southern Estate, where I live full time with my wife Beverly and my dog Daisy. Now, you haven't seen them lately because they are visiting their parents, and every day Bev calls me up and says, "Hey, I'm going to stay another couple of days." So, anyway, now her plan is to come Saturday, and actually, she talked to her sister. Her sister might even drive her up here, and then we can leave the truck there. And it's one less thing we got to do, worry about when we go to move the boat in the next week or so. So, also another thing coming up is the government shutdown. Will it affect the federal locks tomorrow? We're going to talk about that and what we do to prep for stuff like that. So, anyway, that is tomorrow's video. Also, today we're going to talk about liveaboard. How do you get your liveaboard status? What is your liveaboard status, and is there any way around the liveaboard status when you're living full time on your boat? And I'll discuss what we do and basically some of the basic costs of it. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Yesterday I went back. I got the solar panels actually mounted. I actually got that video done too. So the solar panels are officially mounted on the canvas top. I still got to add some magnets, and I'm picking up magnets for that project. But the magnets worked amazingly. So I love the system. I love the way it's turning out. So we'll see what happens with it now that we'll start connecting power to it. Hopefully by the end of this weekend, I'll have power connected to it. So that's my next project, is getting the power connected to it. A couple little hitches in that, but we'll figure it out. Next thing also yesterday, as I told you guys, that one of my little Raycor for the generator had just a small little leak. I mean, literally about a drop every half an hour. And I just put a dish underneath there. And yesterday I went in the engine room to check it. And my rag, the absorption rag, was wet. So I went ahead and just shut the fuel off, drain the filter. That's super easy to do. You just shut the fuel off, drain the filter. I just drained it into a clean bucket and just threw it right back into the fuel tank. So it was pretty easy to do. And then I took the bottom part, the part that was leaking, I pulled that off and put some gasket sealer around it and then put it back together. So we'll see. Today we'll put fuel to that and see if it's, hopefully it holds and it's not leaking anymore. Like I said, when I get to Mobile, I have a brand new Raycor system that's in my trailer actually. So I'll pick that up and I'll probably get that installed when we get to Homeport. So anyway, today I'm talking about the slips and the transients and stuff like that, because this is how let's just back up real quick. So when we bought our boat, let's say, and I'm going to go back 10 years ago because this was in California when we bought our first trawler. Me and Bev wanted to live aboard it. So down in California, the regulations and everything are much tougher than they are over here. And that's not true, because I think it's federally regulated. They can only have so many liveaboards in a marina, and that can only be a certain percentage of the population of the marina. So, and there are ways around this, but the best thing to do is, if you know you're buying a boat and you know you're going to be a full-time liveaboard, and when I say a full-time liveaboard, you're going to accept mail at that marina. I should back up there too, but okay, so you're going to accept mail at the marina. You're going to pay your power. You're going to get metered power. You're going to everything about living aboard the boat. Typically, that costs about 15 to 20% more per month to do the liveaboard, because you're going to get what they call a liveaboard permit, and you're going to have to apply for that. And the way you do that is you get on a list, because there's only so many of those slips given away, or there's only so many of those slips that can be had. And there's more people living on their boats now, so they're even tougher. I think on the one in LA, I waited 2 years, and it just all worked absolutely perfect. Me and Bev we had bought the boat a year earlier. We were just moving it around. We were working back in Vegas a little bit, all that type of stuff. But then when I finally lost my job, it was just a union layoff. Almost that week, the marina calls me up and says, "Hey, you're approved for your liveaboard status." And I said, "Yes, I'll take it." But it increased our rent from $550 to $725 a month. So immediately we started paying more slip rent. And we just went ahead and took it right then, because even though we're still a month away from actually living aboard, we had to take the slip. Otherwise, we wouldn't have gotten it. So, and sometimes you can wait on a list 2, 3, 4, 5 years. So even if you don't own a boat right now, but you plan on living in a boat 2 to 3 years from now, and you know what marina you want to live on, you need to get on that list now. And typically that will cost you about $50. Now, is there a way around it, and how do me and Bev deal with this? Okay, so we are transient boaters, and we will remain transient boaters probably through the duration of owning Southern Estate. And what I mean by transient boaters, we are not going to commit to living or signing any contracts, any long-term leases, because typically you'll sign a 1-year lease on that liveaboard permit. And they're easy to get away. When I say that too, you can get out of any one of those leases because there's 1,000 people waiting to get on that list not 1,000, but there's a few hundred people on all of those lists. So you won't be obligated to pay anything. But if you weren't, you would probably be obligated for that 1-year time period. But typically, there's a waiting list at every marina for the liveaboard permit. So we call ourselves transient boaters. And now we've done America's Great Loop. And so we've navigated, almost 6,000 miles of coastal, intercoastal, Great Lakes, all of it. We've met a lot of marina owners and stuff like that. We've stayed at certain marinas now. We've stayed at Aqua there for a month. Then we're staying here in, no, not Iuka, in Demopolis, Alabama. We're staying here at this marina for a month, all under transient status. Now, in transient status, we do pay a little bit more for our slip rent, probably closer to that liveaboard status, but we get the flexibility to move around, and nobody really busts our chops about living aboard full time. They just don't, because if you're transient, you're on your boat, and you don't get your, you live aboard the boat. They know you do, so you don't fall under those rules as long as you stay transient. And the marinas know that and stuff like that. So even when I go back to Homeport, so when I called Homeport yesterday, actually, I've been communicating with Homeport Marina now for probably about a month, saying, I don't know my exact time, I don't know my exact date, but we are coming through there, and we would like to stay there for a month, maybe 2. And that's all they need to know. And I don't sign any lease with them. I just call them and I say that, and they have to hold a certain amount of transient slips in the marinas. So then I just put my name on one, and I have my connections there. So I call Captain Craig, and that's who I talked to yesterday. He happens to be the marina manager there. He's he's the head honcho, and it was fun talking to him too. Captain Craig, if you're watching this, thank you so much for all of it. He helped me tremendously throughout the entire loop and everything. Just when I first bought Loop Princess, he would say, Paul, this is what you got to do when you're coming in here, because he had his fuel dock. You got current coming in there down the waterway, and then wind and everything would affect it, and so it was fun. That's how I got to learn to drive the Loop Princess. So anyway, talking to Captain Craig yesterday, I loved it, enjoy it. Anyway, I talked to him yesterday, and I said, hey, look, this is Paul, and we're coming in. And he says, that's fine. He goes, looks like I have 3 transient slips available, coming available here soon. So I'll put your name on one, because we're about 2 weeks out right now, 10 to 14 days. And right now it's going to be about weather too. As long as the weather holds up in about 10 days, we're going to leave here. Also, now we've got to worry about the federal shutdown. Will they shut the locks down? I don't know if that's going to be our topic tomorrow, but we'll figure all that out tomorrow. I'll give you what I know about all that right now. So anyway, I talked to Captain Craig. He says, yep, that's fine. Come on in. And so we will be heading over there, and we'll be transient. It doesn't matter whether I'm there for a month or 2 months or 3 months or 6 months or a year. I won't sign anything with them. I just stay transient the entire time that I'm there. Now, with that being said, if you want to be, I want to say, an a-hole and pull into their marina and cause a big wake and just, fight with your spouse and get in trouble on the docks, you're not going to be invited to any of these marinas, and you won't be able to be a transient boater. Trust me. So you just keep a low profile, stay neat and clean, keep your wires all looking good. Keep your, don't don't disturb the boaters around you. Respect everything and everybody, and you won't have any problems being a transient boater. And I know it's tough because that's always the uncertainty of not having that contract for next month, and it's an adjustment that you'll have to make if you want to go down that path. And we went down it. I love it because I'm not committed to anything. And next month I want to move on. I move on. I don't want to be tied down to the same marina for the next 2 or 3 years. I just don't. I want to be able to move around. I want to have the flexibility to go here and do this and enjoy that, and change my scenery in my backyard. You guys see that? This morning I put up that picture. That's just a beautiful picture. And that changes every time we change landscape, and every time we change marinas. And I enjoy it. I really do. I like being transient. I really do. Now, someday we will have to sign on to a marina, and we probably will pay for a liveaboard status. We haven't picked that location yet because we're not 100% sure where we're going to go or what we're going to do yet. We're still, in that whole transient situation. I believe we'll be there for a year, but after navigating over, all around here, we've got some pretty good ideas where we'd like to do, and we'll see how all that works out. So also, I'm enjoying the fact that right now we are close to Beverly's parents, even at this marina. So it doesn't matter whether we're here or at Homeport. She gets to spend a lot of time with her friends and family, which is mostly her family. And I'm glad that she has the opportunity to spend time with her parents, because her parents are getting older, just like mine. And and you guys all know my father passed this year, and my mother's still alive today. And I'm planning a visit to see you soon. She's always calling me saying, "Hey, Paul, you need to call me more." And every day I call her and I say, "Hey, I'll call you tomorrow." And sometimes I forget. And she remembers that. She says, "Hey, you need to call me every day." So I do. You call your mom every day. Trust me. In the end, when we all go, and I'm just going to end this video with this, is we'll all find out it doesn't matter how many stocks you own or what cryptos you buy or what boat you own. It doesn't matter whether you're a millionaire or poor. Time is our most precious commodity. I mean, what you spend your time with and what you do with your time it doesn't matter what job you have. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter who you all are. When you're laying down there and you're breathing those last moments, you're not going to be thinking about how much money you have or what stock you invested in or didn't invest in. You're going to be thinking about all the people and all the loved ones that are around you and have been around you and supported you, just like you guys on YouTube, man. You guys have no idea how passionate and how I feel about you guys getting up here in the mornings and even throughout the day here, because this video probably gets, I don't know, 400 or 500 hits. It's actually getting pretty popular. And when I don't do them, people will message me on my private phone, say, "Hey, Paul, I need to see you tomorrow." Anyway, and I do appreciate it because I know it's time consuming and it's precious because it's part of your time and it's the most precious thing we have. Anyway, peace out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to stay tuned for tomorrow, and have a great day at work. I appreciate it. Bye.